Okay, let's just jump right in. Forget all the noise about making millions overnight. Today, we are going to focus on the one goal that really, truly matters, making your first $10,000. And we're using a playbook from self-made millionaire Mark Tilbury to break down the exact three-step plan to get you there. This is the Stupid Simple Guide. Now you're looking at this number, $10,000, and I get it. But this isn't just a number. This is, and I'm not exaggerating here, probably the single most critical financial milestone you will ever hit. Why? Well, because that first 10 grand is going to be the hardest money you'll ever make. But once you do it, man, you've just unlocked a completely new level in the game of wealth.
And this quote from Mark, it just hits the nail on the head. Hitting this goal literally flips a switch in your brain. It proves, once and for all, that building wealth isn't some random lottery ticket. It's a skill, a repeatable system. Once you figure out how to make 10,000, you have the formula to do it again and again and again. That's the real win.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with why this first challenge is so darn tough. Then we'll walk through the 3 essential steps: finding your hustle, building your skill, and then the fun part, growing your money. Let's get into it.
So, why is the first $10,000 kind of like the final boss in a video game? Well, it's because it demands a whole new way of thinking. And honestly, most people fall into the exact same trap right at the very beginning.
And you know what that classic mistake is? People get distracted by all the shiny objects. They hear stories about somebody getting rich quick with crypto or day trading, and they jump right in. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Those are tools to multiply money you already have. They are not designed to create money from zero. Starting there is like trying to put the roof on a house you haven't even built the foundation for. It just doesn't work.
Which leads us perfectly into step 1, finding the right kind of hustle. You need a business model that gets cash in your pocket fast, without needing a ton of money to start. And you know, when you cut through all the jargon, there are really only 4 main paths you can take. Okay, so if you look at this, it lays out your choices so clearly. You've got in-person services, like washing cars, which is actually something Mark Tilbury did. It's fast cash, for sure, but you're stuck in your local area. Then you've got local products, like selling model airplanes. Fun, maybe, but super slow to grow, and the profits aren't great. Global products? Yeah, they can get huge, but you can have all your cash tied up in inventory for months.
And then you have the clear winner for speed, profit, and scale: online services. We're talking about things like video editing, writing copy, or managing social media. This is the absolute sweet spot. You get the worldwide reach of a product, but with these insane 70 to 80% profit margins of a service. Why? Because your inventory is your skill. You can start making money today. Okay, so you've picked an online service. Awesome. But how do you turn that from just a little hobby into a machine that can reliably spit out $10,000? Well, that brings us to step 2. And a really powerful idea called the skill pyramid.
Now, this pyramid is built on 4 pillars. And I'm telling you, if you miss even one of these, you're gonna hit a wall. You'll be stuck forever just trading your time for a little bit of money. Mastering all 4 of these is the real secret to breaking through that income ceiling. So let's break them down.
First up, positioning. This is a huge mindset shift. The key is to position your skill as something that makes your client money, not something that costs them money. Think about it. A small YouTuber sees a video editor as an expense, but a big-time entrepreneur sees that same video editor as an investment that drives sales. Same skill, totally different value just because of where you apply it. All right, next is leverage. This is where you stop trading hours for dollars. That's the employee trap. You have to stop charging by the hour and start charging for the outcome. See, when you charge for your time, the client always wants to use less of it. You're an expense. But when you charge for the value you create, you become their partner, your valuable asset they can't afford to get rid of.
The third piece is reach. This is all about flipping the script. You need to stop chasing clients and start attracting them to you. Mark Tilbury tells this amazing story about a graphic designer he found on TikTok. The guy was just making these incredible movie-style posters for fun and posting them. His work was so good, his inbox was just flooded with job offers, including one from Mark. You just have to show what you can do, and the right people will find you.
And finally, automation, which, it's really all about one simple word: trust. Mark says that after working with hundreds of freelancers, the #1 thing that separates the good from the great isn't talent, it's reliability. Anyone can be talented once. But being organized, communicating well, and hitting every single deadline, that's rare. Talent might get you the first job, but trust and reliability, that's what builds a career.
All right, let's get to the final piece of this puzzle. You've used the skill pyramid, you've earned your first 10 grand. Now what? Well, you have to shift your mindset from being an active earner to a passive owner. Step 3 is all about putting your money to work so it starts earning money for you.
And the easiest way to think about this is with a risk scale. You don't just randomly throw your money at stuff. You want to strategically place it in different buckets, from the absolute safest options all the way to the highest risk, highest reward plays.
We can basically break this down into 4 key areas. Let's start with the absolute foundation of any solid financial plan. First things first, you build a safety net, a financial cushion in a high-yield savings account. Now, this account isn't going to make you rich. That's not its job. Its job is to make sure you can stay in the game. It's the buffer that means a surprise car repair doesn't force you to sell off your real investments at the worst possible time.
Okay, next up, and this right here is where the real wealth is built, are index funds. Just think of them as a simple basket that holds a tiny piece of hundreds of the top companies out there. For most people, this is the single most effective, hands-off way to build serious long-term wealth.
And just how effective are we talking? Well, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that the money you spend on your daily coffee could be the key to retiring a millionaire?
No, that is not a typo, and it's not clickbait. If you invested just $5 a day from the time you were 18 until you were 67, at the stock market's average historical return of about 10%, you'd retire with over $1 million. That's the quiet, powerful magic of compound interest doing all the heavy lifting for you.
Now, as we move up that risk scale, you get to things like individual stocks and crypto. I like to think of individual stocks as your education fund. It's a great way to learn how the markets work with small amounts of money. And crypto? Well, that's for the small, speculative part of your portfolio with money you can genuinely afford to lose. It's an educated bet, not a lottery ticket.
So let's just bring it all home. The path to wealth isn't some big secret.